Welcome back to another day of shapes and sizes. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a vehicle. Sounds like fun, right? Perfect. So we're going to actually just start with our normal cube. And in case if you forgot, number 1 on your numpad will bring you to the front view. Number 3 will bring you to the side. Number 7 will bring you to your top view. And number 9 will bring you to your bottom view. So I like to start on number 1. And here we have it. If you do accidentally move away, so if I hit shift and my middle mouse button, if I move away, I'm panning away from it. Let's say if I'm like, oh no, I can't see where it is, how do I get closer again? And instead of like moving it like this, zooming in, whatever, seeing if it's all the way perfect, what you're going to do is to simply hit the period on your numpad. Then that'll bring it automatically around the entire object. Okay, so let's get started on creating a vehicle. So on side view, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit tab to get into edit mode. And I'm going to add a loop cut. So I'm going to hit Control R, and you want it to be side to side, not up and down. So side to side, just drop it. If you accidentally move it, that's okay, just right click and it'll place it properly in the center. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit number 3 on our keyboard. So number 3 will bring us to a face value. If you hit number 1, it brings us to see the vertices, right? The little black dots. Number 2 are the edges. And number 3 are the faces. So we're going to grab number 3, and we're going to go into top view, and now we're just going to hit E and X, and that'll extrude it along the X axis. So now you can see that we have a basic vehicle shape. Perfect. I love it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some tires to this. So we're going to hit tab to go into object mode, right? So your object mode and your edit mode. You want to be in object mode, and then you hit Shift A to create a mesh, and we're going to go with the cylinder. So now with the cylinder, I want it to be rotated to be facing the other way. So I'm going to hit R for rotate. We're going to rotate it along the X axis, and we're going to hit 90. And now that way, we can see that it is facing the way the tires should. Perfect. I'm going to go over to this side, and I'm just going to scale it in to make it the size of a tire, kind of like so. I'm going to hit 7, and we're going to grab with G, hit Y, and we're going to move it up ever so slightly. Grab it with your X and move it one to the back. Now I can see that it's still a little bit too thick, so I'm going to hit S for scale on the Y axis, and that'll help me to just shrink it in. And then let's see it. Okay, still a little bit too high, so grab on the Z or Z, whichever one you prefer, and we're just going to drop it till it's about there. If you want, you can scale it up a little bit larger, make it an actual tire size, you know, and grab this along the X, and move it over a little bit, and I'm going to actually move it out a little bit as well, just a small bit. Perfect. So now we're going to go down to our material section. We're going to hit new, and we're going to call this material tire. With the basic color, the tires are black. So now we have a black tire. Perfect. So now I'm going to hit 7, and I'm going to hit Shift D and move it along the X axis to the front. There you go. Now that's 2 tires placed. Now I'm going to hit Shift and click on the other tire. So now I have both of them selected. And I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate them and hit Y to bring them down. And we're going to place them right about there. Maybe a little bit more in. Yeah, just like that. And now, if we hold Z or Z, and we go down to material preview, and now we have our black tires on our vehicle. Pretty. I like it. Perfect. So now that we are in object mode, we are going to create headlights. So Shift A, Mesh, and you know what? Let's do cylinders again. Why not? This time we want it to be facing at the front of the vehicle. So we're going to rotate with R, hit Y, so that it rotates along the Y axis, and we hit 90. And now we do the same thing. We just shrink it down to the size of headlights. Grab it along the Y, move it over, grab it along the Z, bring it down, and it's not quite at the front of it, eh? So now we're going to grab this on the X and bring it to the front. And let's see here. I think that looks not too bad. You know what, let's shrink it down on the X. So scale, X, and bring it down. You don't want it to be too big, you don't want it to be too small, right? So move that a little bit further up. And there you go. You got one headlight. So what we're going to do, oh, these are supposed to be named wheels. Don't worry about that. We're going to go to our cylinder here, and we are going to name this headlight. And now we are going to add a new material. So the material for this would be headlights. So we're just going to go down to our base color, and usually headlights are around what? Yellowish white. Just move it around over there. Alright, and I think this looks good just like that. Looks pretty good. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our top view, and we are going to hit Shift D along the Y-axis and move it to the other side, approximately where headlights should be on a vehicle. And I like that. Could be a little bit more equal, hey? Which is right about there. There you go. That is a good looking vehicle. Now, let's color the vehicle. What color should we make it? So we're just going to name this car. So you can change it to whatever color you want, but I like the color green, so I'm going to go with a bit of a darker green. You can choose whatever color you want. This is the color that I like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on this. We're going to go into Tab so that we are in Edit mode. And now what we're going to do are add loop cuts. We're going to add one loop cut along the top here because we're going to be creating some windows. So we'll go just move it out a little bit. And on the other side, beside it, you're going to bring it in a little close to the front. So now when we're finished with those two loop cuts, we're going to come over to the front of the vehicle. We're going to hit 3 to go into face mode. And now here is a new one. We're going to use I. What I does is it allows you to bring in to indent. So yeah, that's something new. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold Shift and bring the indent in just a little bit to make a windshield. So now we're going to make another material. We're going to call this one windshield. How about window? Window. There you go. And windows are usually metallic with no roughness. So now it's more of a reflective type. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Assign. And now when you see, you have a window. Perfect. Now we're going to do the rest of the vehicles. We're going to do this in a very interesting way. So we're going to click our first window. We're going to shift click our second window. You're going to rotate to the other side, shift click the the third window, and shift click the fourth window. Now what we're going to do, once when all four are selected, we're going to hit I. I'm going to hold shift to bring it in a little bit. Okay, now that these are extruded inwards, we're just going to hit window on our material side here. Now we're just going to hit assign. Now there you have it. You have 4 more windows. I love it. And what we're going to do now is grab the front of this. We're going to hit E and X. We're going to hold shift and we're just going to bring it in just a little bit, just so that it has a little bit of depth to it. We're going to do the same thing on the back. So we're going to hit I, hold shift, bring it in a little bit. Oops. You don't want your cursor too close. I'm just going to make it the same size as these other windows. So I, shift, and how about there? And we're going to hit E and X, so that'll extrude it. And we're just going to push it back while holding shift. And then we're going to go to our window, and we're going to hit assign. There you go. There you go. You have a vehicle. You have a nice looking vehicle. You can do whatever you want to this now. For example, you can hit the back, hit E, and pull it out to make it like a truck, right? You can even add some more depth to it. You can grab this face, you can go I, move it in a little bit, and then you go to your side view, and you go E, and you bring it down to the bottom. And now, there you go. You have a pickup truck. Right, and now you can take your 2 wheels, you grab them along the X, move them down to where it should be, and there you go. You have a nice looking truck. So now that we want our camera in position, let's go ahead and put it, get a nice looking spot for your camera position wherever you want, and hit Control Alt 0. And this will bring up your camera to that specified location. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take everything over here and we're going to combine everything into the body. So we're going to take the headlights, we're going to take the wheels, and it's all going to go into the cube. We're going to hit the cube, which should be called body. We'll rename that. Everything except your light and your camera, and you're going to hit Control J, and you're going to join them. So we're going to actually rename this one body. Okay, so now that we have our body there, and now you can grab it, we can scale it. That's not a good spot. We're going to change for that is so that it scales to the center. So we're going to right click and we are going to set origin, and we're going to set it to the mask surface, and this will put it right in the center of your object. So now when you scale it, there you go, in and out, you can rotate it along it, perfect. And yes, you can grab anything you want to do. You can make it larger, you can make it smaller, you can flip it upside down. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to it. And there you go. That is your vehicle. Or if you wanted it shorter, you could have kept it the same way before. But yes, that is your vehicle. Thank you for watching, and I hope you had fun with shapes and sizes.